This is Pet Life Radio. Let's talk pets.
Hi everybody, it's Cheryl from Unleashed, and I am thrilled to have Dr. Pohl with me today, and we'll be right back and we'll start the show.
Take a bite out of your competition. Advertise your business with an ad in Pet Life Radio podcasts and radio shows. There is no other pet-related media that is as large and reaches more pet parents and pet lovers than Pet Life Radio. With over 7 million monthly listeners, Pet Life Radio podcasts are available on all major podcast platforms, and our live radio stream goes out to over 250 million subscribers on iHeartRadio, Odyssey, TuneIn, Stitcher, and other streaming apps. For more information on how you can advertise on the #1 pet podcast and radio network, visit PetLifeRadio.com/advertise today.
Let's Talk Pets on PetLifeRadio.com.
Hi everybody, it's Cheryl from Unleashed, and I'm at the Global Pet Expo, and I was lucky to get an interview with the incredible Dr. Pohl, and I'm so glad you're here. How do you
Thank
do?
You, Cheryl.
It's
Thank
a
you.
real
I'm doing
pleasure.
Fine. Busy here, but there's a lot of people from all over the world here just looking at all the things that are available for pets now.
Right. It's a very big business.
It's a big business.
And we're really into a big health part of the business.
Yes.
Keeping our animals healthy. I want to really talk about the farm animals in the rural areas.
Okay.
But I did read something recently that there's a new infection around that's affecting dogs just to go outside.
You mean the influenza that came?
Yes.
Okay, that was more or less a storm in a glass of water, it seems like, because yes, we started vaccinating dogs for the influenza, but we've never seen a case where we are in Michigan. It was more in the bigger cities with the number of dogs that would spread the virus to each other.
It's amazing. One of my neighbor's dog got hepatitis from just,
Yeah.
You know, when I had my dogs when I was younger, they lived to 13 years, 15 years.
Yeah.
They didn't get cancer. They used to have a brand of dog food called Cadillac.
Yeah.
A can of dog food, and they lived 13, 15 years.
Yes, because in those days they made it kind of simple, and right now they make dog food and cat food, and yes, make it last. And yes, I've said many years ago already, we are what we eat, and we see cancer a lot more in people also. And why? I don't do research on it, so I don't know, but it's a fact that when we eat all these products that are now on the market with all the preservatives and everything in there, that is not the natural food that we used to have. And I think this is part of the problem.
And E. coli, and the way we store food, the way, I don't want to say slaughter, because I'll tell you, over the last few years, cows have become almost like pets to people who live on bigger properties, who have started rescues. It fell off a truck and I took it, and now I need a friend for it. And of course the male calf doesn't give milk, so he doesn't.
For me, yes, large animals are still, farm animals, and if they give milk, that's fine. The beef cows, produce the meat that we eat. But at the same time, yes, there's a lot of dairy farms by us now that have quit because it's a 24/7 job. And nobody wants to work that anymore. Even veterinarians don't want to do it 24/7. When you have a large animal business, it is a 24/7 job.
Right.
Because cows don't have weekends.
Right. And when they give birth, and horses. And
that's right, and you better be there if there is a problem.
Have you treated all types of animals, like kangaroos and alpacas and tigers?
For me, a veterinarian means he treats animals. So yes, I treat all animals, and sometimes you have to just laugh a little bit because one time the mother brought her 8-year-old little daughter in with a little pet mouse that had black spots on it. And I could see in her eyes, oh my gosh, this has cost me an arm and a leg. No, the little white mouse had fleas.
Oh my God.
Yes. So I sold the flea medicine for the cat that she had in the house and put a drop on the mouse and everything was fine. So use a little common sense, and be nice to people. Treat others like you want to be treated and they'll come back.
Now, with the bigger animals, do they get like the heartworm?
No.
And
people
the
don't get
Lyme disease?
They can get Lyme disease, but they hardly show everything. The dogs and the people are the main animals that have Lyme disease.
And that comes from mosquitoes, right? And the ticks.
Yep.
Hepatitis is from...
Hepatitis can come any place. Hepatitis, the itis means that there is an infection. So yes, a liver infection many times comes from environmental, not always bacteria, it could be viruses, and hepatitis is one of the things that we vaccinate for in dogs.
Now,
and lepto is another one that would cause the liver infections. And many veterinarians in the city do not vaccinate for lepto because sometimes it causes a reaction, especially in the small dogs. Well, if that happens, we put them on Benadryl, they get over it, and we don't vaccinate for lepto anymore. But lepto is it's a spirochete, it's a bacteria-like organism that swims in water, and it can do everything in dogs and cats and people and horses. Horses get moon blindness, they say, from lepto. Cows will abort, they'll get kidney infection, can get liver infection, and the same in dogs. So yes, we vaccinate for lepto.
Even the farm animals, even the big animals?
We used to do that an awful lot when the cattle were out on pasture. Now that they are most of the time in free stalls and protected from the outside world, you could say, it's not so prevalent anymore.
They say in 2030 there's going to be a shortage of vets.
I'm not sure.
I don't know so much about the everyday.
Large animal probably because it's work. And like I said, it's a 24/7 job because animals don't take weekends off.
So horses and shoes, they're getting... What's your favorite animal?
People ask me that all the time.
Well, they're not going to hear us.
No, but that's fine. It's a healthy animal.
That's a good answer.
It makes no difference what animal, as long as it's healthy, I'm happy.
And a cow their stomach is different than ours.
Completely. There are 4 stomachs. Every ruminant, cows, sheep, and goats are the most common farm animals with 4 stomachs. And they chew their cud. The camel is the same way. Llamas and alpacas also. So they eat roughage, then they lay down and bring up a cud and chew it again, so that actually they mush it up more, and then finally it goes down into the 4th stomach. But in the rumen are bacteria that help digest it. And yes, basically they're living off the roughage and of the bacteria that grow in there. So for them, the bacteria, you call it bacteria, but organisms in the rumen are the protein for the ruminants. So it's not just the roughage that they use, it's the organisms that live in the rumen that also provide protein.
That might be good for us.
Sometimes, yes.
For people with colon problems or stomach problems. What about pigs?
Pigs are like humans. One stomach and everything, omnivores, they eat everything, even each other.
So how today are the farm animals faring? Now that they're in, contact with humans.
No, see, animals need safety first. If you have a bird feeder hanging outside, you see the birds coming and it's peck, and you look around. Who's there? Peck, look in.
Yeah.
So what we provide for farm animals is safety. Then food is next. But safety first. Well, we provide that for them. So yes, they're quiet. And yes, they in turn, they help us have a better life by drinking the milk, eating the meat. But at the same time, we are very well taking care of these animals. Otherwise, the farmers go bankrupt. I had a case many years ago with a guy that wanted to milk cows, and he didn't have the experience. And yes, he beat the cows with a 2x4 to go in the stanchions and all that stuff. and I had to pregnancy check there, and the cows were so scared, it was unbelievable. And I got so mad at him, and he was a foot taller than I was.
They are very sensitive from what I understand.
And I got in his face. I said, you hit these cows one more time, I'm going to beat you with a 2x4. So I pregnancy checked the cows, but half a year later, 6 months later, he was bankrupt because the cows did not produce because they were scared. And that's the thing.
Stress.
The animals, the stressed animals, those animals, horses, cats especially, dogs, every day the same is the best. Horses especially. Everything the same food, every day the same environment, everything the same safety. That's ideal for these animals.
And they're secure.
Yes, that's what they feel.
Because they're sensitive also.
Oh yes. The longer I work with animals, the smarter they are getting. And if you can tell and let an animal tell you what they need or feel with your pets, but also with the horses, do you have a complete different world open up for you, and it's beautiful.
Yes, I just unfortunately had to put my 19-year-old cat down like last week.
Yes.
And as sad as it was, because I had her as a kitten.
But she had a good life.
She had a wonderful life,
Yes.
and she wanted to go.
And
she let
yes,
me know.
Yes, that's the thing. Animals are not afraid to die. And many people will ask me, when do you think it's time? When the animal starts ignoring you, and they mask their pain, or if they don't feel good, they don't tell you.
They hide it.
But they hide it as much as possible. But at the same time, they will tell you when it's time. Because what I call, they become aloof. You call them and they turn their head away. I want to go.
Right. They want to go.
Like I said, they're not afraid to die.
My next pet is going to be a dog. I've never been petless. This
No.
is the first time. My parents had a dog before I was born, and
Yes.
I'm going to be 70, and I've never. So
Never
I'm
been-
literally tripping over nothing at home. But a friend of mine, actually my first boyfriend, back in the 70s, he went to veterinarian school in Belgium because.
Oh.
Yeah,
Kent.
it was hard to get in here.
Yeah.
I think it was like a 5 or a 6 year course. But I remember when I was telling Charles, I remember when they brought the horse in, they were going to dissect him. And then I remember we went to a French restaurant and he had rabbit. And after he ate the rabbit, he put all the bones back together. And he
Yes.
wanted to teach me to be an assistant. And
No. You gotta have it in you, it seems like.
I love animals, but
Yes.
I should have.
See, and-
Shoulda, woulda, coulda.
I was born and raised on the dairy farm, and always with animals. I grew up with a Saint Bernard, and we had other dogs. And yes, when I was in college, you're petless because you're a student. But the minute Diane and I got married and moved back here and started our practice, the first thing we had was get a big dog, and we got a Great Dane. And yes, he was big, and pretty soon we had 2 of them. And then it's infectious because now Charles has 2 Great Danes. We have 2 Danes and a Saint Bernard and 4 cats in the house. And yes, we have to step over these dogs. The Saint Bernard lays in the middle of the room and you walk over them.
Yeah, I remember growing up in my neighborhood, one of my neighbors had a Great Dane. But, those were the days where you just had one dog.
Yeah.
Today, you have 2 cars, you have multiple cell phones, pocketbooks, earrings, jewelry.
Yes.
I think pets need a pet. Your dog needs a dog. If you could handle it, because dogs are, they all work, you got to take care of them.
Yes.
I believe in walking them.
Yeah.
But-
Well, we are in the country, so we just turn them loose. We have about 5 acres fenced in because the one Dane that we rescued is the runner. But he's getting old already. He's already 9 years old, so he doesn't run that far anymore. But he used to run for miles, and we didn't want that because that's not good. So we fenced in about 5 acres, and they run in there like crazy. And now the newest
So
Dane
now,
that
do they, because they're big, tall dogs, would you consider them also long dogs? Would they be?
No, they're not long dogs like a Dachshund or anything. No, they are just normal built with long legs. That's mainly it. The Dane, many years ago in Europe, was used to hunt the wild boars. And they would actually, and I've seen it, grab an ear of that pig and then jump over their back so that the head was pulling the wrong way, and that left the space open for the people that hunted with the spear to kill the wild boar.
That is amazing.
Yeah, they were amazing dogs.
Just like the Ridgeback, they ate lions or tigers.
Yeah, if there is enough. And Saint Bernard, it was domesticated many years ago, and the name comes from that big mountain in Switzerland, where
they had brandy.
Brandy, but no, they rescued people that were stranded in the mountains, and yes, they would just walk in there, and how they do it, they could smell it under 4 feet of snow, would dig them out and bark, and the rescuers would come.
Yeah.
And this is the thing. Dogs are so smart, it's unbelievable.
Oh, well, that's why they use them for everything.
Yes.
They're using them now, I heard, even to detect illnesses in people.
Well, in the Netherlands, I heard now that they have taught dogs how to smell COVID, but they cannot tell the difference between an active or a latent infection. That's the problem yet. But they can smell whether you're coming down with it. So, better be careful. And their nose, like I said, it's unbelievable. Sometimes I wish I could smell like a dog, but then again, maybe I shouldn't.
Right. So, growing up in the Netherlands and living on your farm, that's what inspired you?
Yes. I was the youngest of 6, and yes, if you want to know more, we wrote a book called Never Turn Your Back on an Angus Cow. And it tells you how everything started. I was the youngest of 6, and when I was 12 years old, the local veterinarian picked me up to deliver piglets at my brother. So I was tall and skinny, and here I was laying behind the pigs in the straw with up to my shoulder in those pigs trying to get the little ones out. And it was a lot of fun. Not dirty at all. It was just, never thought it was dirty, and I still don't think it's dirty in there. So I came back home and told my mother, says, hey, if I can't be a farmer, I want to be a veterinarian. Well, she said, you better study hard. Well, I did. Biggest problem was I was colorblind, so microbiology.
I'm colorblind also.
Yeah, microbiology, parasitology, and then bacteriology were all hard, but I made it through. And yes, I've been doing nowadays for 50 years, and I still enjoy it.
And you enjoy the show now, right? That you're doing.
This show now has been going on for 10 years. The 200th episode is coming up, and it's fun for me. And as long as it's fun, I'll keep doing it.
That's it.
That's the whole secret. Yes.
If life could be fun and you enjoy doing it,
keep
and
doing
it makes your heart happy,
keep doing it.
Keep doing it.
Right.
I appreciate your time.
Thanks, Cheryl.
And I hope to have you on again. I wish you lots of good luck. It was a pleasure for me.
Thank you, Cheryl.
Thank you. And I want to say goodbye to all of my people out there. This is Cheryl from Unleashed, and I want to thank Mark, my producer, and I'll see you again next time. Bye-bye.
Let's Talk Pets, every week on demand, only on PetLifeRadio.com.